Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bryan Cooper Show. Today's episode, we're going over the top 5 personal development mindset growth books of 2025 and beyond. So whether you're an entrepreneur looking to up your business game, if you want to grow personally in a certain area of your life, these books have keen insights that can just take you to a whole new level, shift your perception, and create a whole new world for you. It has for my wife and I, and for millions of people. So let's dive into the 5 top books that I recommend of 2025 and beyond on personal growth and accomplishment. Let's get started. Well, I'm excited to dive into the episode today because it's all about really, really good information that can change anybody's life if they just read it and then apply it. Information doesn't do anything for us if we don't apply it. So it's the application of new information that changes our life. And some books have such good information that they can literally change our life if we use and apply it and go out there and do something with it. And I'm glad that I took action on a lot of these ideas. I'm still working on it. We're always growing and working and trying to figure out how can we get better in any area of our life. And books have such good insight if you find the right ones that can help you grow. Well, what's the all-time original, one of the best in personal development? And I would have to say it is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I mean, this book has been sold, I don't know, I can't remember how many copies, but it's one of the most sold books of all time. And it's because it has such a profound effect. And the title it's kind of catchy because I think we all desire to have wealth and to grow, at least to not have financial concerns, right? So if you can create wealth in your life to where you don't have any financial concerns, then that can make a huge impact on our life. So a title like Think and Grow Rich, how do I get rich? Can I do it by just thinking? Well, you can't just think and grow rich. You have to think and do specific things, and you can become wealthy. Anybody can do this. I mean, this book has helped create millions of millionaires, it's kind of cool to see how the effects of some people's writings can change the world. And this book really has. Napoleon Hill originally studied 500 of the world's most successful people. And then he just took what he found and put it in this book, and then also applied it to his life. And he found that these effects really, truly do work. I mean, 20 years of research, and it's still valid today. It's the same principles, the same laws, they're all there since the beginning of time. He just discovered some really cool ones. And one of the things in this book that I think is really important for us to understand is that chapter on desire. Because if we don't have a strong enough desire to change, nothing will ever change. We'll just stay stuck right where we're at, never making really any changes, mild improvement, not knowing that there's something so much bigger on the other side of the uncomfortable, on the other side of what we need to push through to make it happen. If your desire is strong enough, then you're going to go after what you want. And that's literally the triggering mechanism to all change is desire. But our desire is shut down by so many things. I mean, mass distraction, the paradigms of the programs that were passed down to us that tell us what we can earn or what we can do or where we can go or who we are or how we feel about ourselves. All these old programs, they run with 100% efficiency, but they're not getting us what we want. So sometimes you just got to work on your desire. What do I really, truly want? And when you can find that life that would be so amazing, it doesn't always have to do with finances, but most people's lives are so much better if you actually are earning more and you're wealthy and those finances are not weighing you down because you don't have them. When you're in a financial place that, things are coming in, you can pay for the things and the lifestyle that you want. You can take care of your family. You can create an inheritance that you can pass down for generations because of what you decided to do and the lifestyle that you decided to adapt and the people that you help along the way. Because ultimately, the way to get wealthy is just help other people get wealthy, help other people become successful, and your success will follow. So the more we work on ourselves, the more we grow as an individual by reading books and applying it, backed by this burning desire of what that goal is, then we're going to see massive shifts and changes. I heard about this book from my mentor, Bob Proctor. I mention him a lot because I paid to have his coaching. I was in his masterminds. I was involved in his seminars, and I studied and researched and listened to his material all the time, his books, and his information really resonated with me. But he read Think and Grow Rich every day for 60 years. I mean, his book was falling apart at the seams, but he just loved his original book. Someone gave it to him, said, hey, you read this book, you apply the methods, and it'll change your life. And it did. And he created one of the most successful coaching businesses in the world. And I learned so much from him. So grateful for what he taught me. And it all came from studying and applying Think and Grow Rich. So I highly, highly, highly recommend this. Read that chapter on desire. I'd say you could start there and then go to the beginning and then start reading through it, because you got to find out what you want. You got to understand that we need a burning desire in order to grow. And this book writes about it so beautifully. The next book I want to talk about is U Squared by Price Pritchett. Also, a Bob Proctor recommendation. I was at a seminar and this book was given to me, and I had no idea this book is so powerful. So it's a thin, almost like a notebook. Each chapter is just laid out on 2 pages. So some of the best information condensed and simplified for us to read. And you can open up basically one chapter, 1 page, and read the chapter and then get on with your day. So just a few minutes, but it's life-changing, mic drop information that totally shifts our perception of what we can accomplish. So U Squared is all about multiplying your personal effectiveness through quantum leaps. It's a high velocity formula. It teaches us how to think way bigger. Like, don't go for small incremental gains. What's the big goal? What is the big opportunity? Start looking for that. Start acting as if that is where you're supposed to be. Start just working on your belief system that I can go so much further than what I'm currently allowing myself to think. So the principles that he lays out in this book are profound, they're powerful, short and concise. And I think one of the things that really impacted me, that helped both my wife and I grow, was the chapter. It's near the end, but it's called Make Your Move Before You're Ready. Oftentimes we feel like we have to know all the steps. We have to have everything lined up. We have to have our ducks in a row. We have to have all the money and the financials figured out. But that's not how it works. When you make the decision that you're going to do something, you shouldn't even know all the steps. There's a tremendous amount of faith that has to happen. You just make the move. You go after it, and you'll figure it out along the way. And the faith in doing that, you'll find that your goal and God will respond to that faith and give you the ideas that you need, sometimes at the right moment, sometimes when you're searching for them, sometimes when you just feel like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I have this big goal, this big desire, and I'm just going to make this move. And so it was so helpful for my wife and I to read that chapter. In fact, we got on a plane, we were coming back from a convention, and we opened up and we were both reading it, and it was the chapter on Make Your Move Before You're Ready. And we felt like it was super important for us to actually move physically from where we were currently living and move to a different state and kind of shake up our environment to cause us to grow. And it absolutely 100% did. It was actually one of the most difficult things that we had ever gone through. It was not an easy move. There were so many things that came across our path that wanted us to give up and to go back and to throw in the towel and give up on our dreams. And there's moments that we were very close. It was some difficult things that we had to go through. But through all of that, through making that move before we were ready, financially, we shouldn't have done it, according to a CPA. And, we just said, okay, we see this, and a quantum leap is what we're looking for. And if this is what we need to do, and this is the steps that we need to take, let's do it. And so we went for it. And on the other side of all that, uncomfortable, the shift in environment, and what we needed to grow ourselves through all of this stuff, basically, it really produced an effect of a quantum leap that he talked about. Well, I mean, we 10x'd our income. We changed so much in our life because we were willing to make that move. The chapters in here are they're incredible. Learning how to rely on unseen forces. Focus on ends rather than means. You don't have to know how you're going to get there, but you do need to know where you want to go. Having a clear and decisive goal. We got to get clear on our goals. There's just so many chapters in here that are powerful. Change your personal rules for success. You've got fall in love with the idea, fall in love with yourself and the idea of what you're creating. It's so powerful. So this book, I highly, highly recommend anybody getting and reading. It's one of the best ones that you can just put on your nightstand, and then you just at nighttime before you go to bed, just read a chapter. And like, wow, so good. It's kind of like a mic drop moment before you fall off to sleep. This is one of the books I highly, highly recommend. I think it's one of the best. Then another older book that can change how we literally view success. It changes how we think about riches. It changes our understanding of like the laws that govern all things. And it's called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. And it's similar in nature to Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, because these books are all about your thoughts create your reality. And if you don't change your thoughts, then your reality will not change. You're going to stay in the same cycle. But there's an exact science to getting rich. And once you understand the science, you can either do something with it or nothing with it, but you know that, oh, there's an actual science to getting rich. And I think I should apply these methods because it really can change your life if you just understand it and you apply it. I think that there's so many takeaways from the book, but I liked how it broke down the law of attraction in 7 different parts. And when you break down the law of attraction, you have a different understanding. It's just not a matter of just you think it and then poof, it happens. There's exact laws and a science behind what the law of attraction is. And when you understand what that is, it's truly the fundamental law of vibration. The law of vibration controls everything. I talk about this a lot. I talk about it in my book. Everything is energy. As Albert Einstein said, that's all there is to it. You got to match the frequency of the reality that you want. When you're matching the frequency, that's vibration. Everything is controlled by the law of vibration. Nothing rests. And so when you understand that primarily, you start to think about like, how am I thinking? You start to think about your action steps. You start to think about, what am I doing? And then there is an actual science to getting rich. If I just follow these same methods and these principles, connect with what I want, then all of a sudden the results are different. And then I can create wealth. Wealth creation is kind of fun. It's like, hey, I had this goal of I want to earn $100,000. Back in the day, I didn't know exactly the science. I just wanted to do it. And so I did that. But then when we want to earn $1 million, there's a science to that. It's the same science. You just apply the same method. You just have a much, much bigger idea. And like, think quantum leaps or 10xing your goal. There's books about that. And then all of a sudden, when you apply the thought and the methodology along with the science, then it just makes a huge difference in your life and you can have the results that you want. I think one of the things that I love the most about The Science of Getting Rich was the law of increase that he talks about in there. It's so simple, but super powerful. Do you know the law of increase? Like if we want more in our life, it's based off of one thing, and that's praise. The more you give praise to something, the more it grows. They've actually seen this with science, like people that will go out there and praise the flowers. They're like, oh, you're so beautiful. You're so amazing and you're growing. They would have more of a positive effect and get more production out of a flower or crops if they spoke praise to that. In fact, like a trainer for a dog, they say they get the best training effect by praising that dog. They work off of praise, not you can't do this, not shutting them down, don't tell them what they shouldn't do. It's the praise of doing the right thing over and over again that actually produces a positive result. So it's the same thing with our business. Like, do we praise our business? Like, my business is doing so well. It's growing. I love, even if you don't see the numbers, you still pour on the praise because the law of increase, and we want things to increase, is based off of praise. And the more that we're grateful for something, which is why we should practice gratitude, the more we can actually see the things to praise in that situation. And then when you continue to praise it, well, by law, it should increase. And if we want something to be better, talking about how it's not working or being frustrated with the lack of results is a recipe for disaster. So if we start using the law of increase and praise what we want to happen as if it's already happened, then we are going to have the effects of that because we're really powerful creative beings. And thoughts actually create reality. And so the more you hold the thought, the more you praise, the more you use gratitude for the situation over an extended period of time, guess what? Our action step should mimic that and we get greater results. So it's just a simple matter of understanding that there is laws like how to increase something. Well, let's give it praise. And you're going to find that in a book like The Science of Getting Rich. That's why just understanding a simple idea, a simple quote in a book can have a profound impact on your life. And then the next book I want to talk about is As a Man Thinketh. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Another older book. This is older than Think and Grow Rich, but it basically helps you, I would say, monitor your thinking. And basically just, it talks about how we are the sum total of our thoughts. Our life is a 3D printout. It doesn't say 3D printout in the book. That's more modern terms because they didn't have 3D printers back then. But basically our life, everything that's happening in our life is an outcropping of our thoughts. And if you don't like your life, then we got to change our thoughts. And our thoughts come from inside our subconscious programming. But James Allen, he touched on thoughts as being the things that controls our life. And if you just learn how to change that, change how you look at the world so your thoughts can start changing and then also creating a different result, then you're going to have a different effect on your life. I mean, all of these books are about your thoughts. I mean, your thoughts control your reality, and they do. We just have to become aware of them. But I love in the last chapter, it's so powerful because a lot of times we experience frustrating moments. We go through stuff that's difficult, trying times, and they're going to come, and we have to work through them. We got to strengthen ourselves and understand that it's like working on us as we're working through these things. But in the book, it's the last chapter called Serenity, and it's calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. It is the result of long and patient effort and self-control. That's the start of that first chapter, or the chapter on serenity. And it calmed me down so many times. Calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. It is the result of long and patient effort and self-control. Because a lot of times we react to situations. We're out of control. Like something comes up, we react, we freak out, we think worst case scenario, but we're not in control when that happens. When something comes up, it's like, then you learn how to calm yourself down and think about it objectively. You're like, this is something that's important, and I think it's for my benefit. Where's the solution? What's the thing that I can learn from this particular moment? And when you look at it that way, you're able to work through a situation so much easier, so much better. You're able to help yourself and other people around you because you didn't react in a way that just threw you off track. You responded in a way that was calm, that was present. And through that, typically you can see the solution much, much faster than just reacting and flipping out. And I've used this method from this book so many times over the years. And I just think it's one of the all-time greats. As a Man Thinketh. It just helps you change how you see and view yourself and the world around you, and that your thoughts are super powerful. And if we're going to change something, you got to change our thoughts. So I highly recommend As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. That's one of my all-time favorite books. And then one of the books that I'm most passionate about, and it's not out yet, although it's coming out here very shortly, and that is, yes, The 490 Formula by Bryan Cooper, yours truly. And I'm not touting this being one of the best books in the world because it's the best book in the world, but because it's one of the books that's changed my world, my life so profoundly. And my goal is to use this to change the lives of so many other people. I want people to grow, to become the best version of themselves, to discover deep parts about themselves that they weren't even aware of through the process of understanding the missing link to goal achievement. And do you know what that is? That is just your goals and energy. And if you've never accomplished something, it's just that you weren't connected with it. You got to learn how to be in harmony with what you want. And to be in harmony with what you want is to connect to the energy of your goal, because every single goal, it doesn't matter what they are, everyone without exception has a specific energetic frequency, and we've been sending the wrong signal for years. We send the signal out to get what we have in our life. The signal is produced from our thoughts, from the subconscious mind, right? All these books are about thoughts. I mean, you're like, hey, I should really think about my thoughts. And are they helping me or are they not helping me? If things are going like super well, it's probably because you have some pretty good thoughts. If they aren't going super well, then you're either growing or your thoughts are just pulling you in the wrong direction. And we don't want to do that. But the 490 formula is all about the repetitious process of reprogramming your brain to connect to the energy of your goal in 70 days, forming a new neural pathway that basically says, okay, this is now what I'm connected to. I can do this. And I was looking for the most efficient model, the best method that you could use to rewire your brain, to embed the subconscious mind with this frequency so that your action steps are going to get you the results. Because like I said, all of this information is fantastic, but if you don't apply it, you can never change. Or if you have a goal and you send the wrong signal, you're never going to reach that either. So we're taking connecting to the energy of your goal, the action steps that support that, and then all of a sudden the results are the goal that's already been achieved, which is super, super exciting. So the 490 formula, this book, is meant to do just that. Connect you to the frequency, the energy of your goal. That's the missing link to goal achievement. And this formula, it's really cool. When you get into the book, you realize that this thing is over 2,000 years old. It's been around for a long time. Yes, I got a copy right there. But this book is going to help a lot of people. It's already helping so many people that I've presented this idea to. They're like, I love this method because it's simple. It makes sense. Your belief in what you're doing is so much stronger, meaning you're going to get greater results, because ultimately we have to work on our belief system. And you got to get to the place in your life where you believe 100% that what you're working on is going to work. And sometimes if we feel like we don't have the motivation to do something, like I'm just lacking motivation in this particular area, and we all lack motivation from time to time, what gives you motivation is belief. When you work on your belief system and you know that it's going to happen, you are going to be far more motivated to get up and take action on it because you know it's going to work. But if you just like, I don't think that's possible, I don't think it's going to work, well, we're not going to be motivated to do something different in our life. So work on your belief systems if you want the motivation to accomplish your goal. The 490 formula actually helps with that belief system. You're strengthening your resolve, you're strengthening who you are, and I believe it can be one of the most life-changing formulas that you will ever use in the process of goal achievement. So I highly also recommend getting this book. It comes out February 18th. It can have an impact on your life. It has impacted me. When I say we, I'm always talking about my wife and I, because we're always aligned with our goals for the most part. And we work on these things together. And we've done some really cool things in business over the years and helped thousands of people. And we want to continue on that path, because changing your life is great, but helping other people also change their life is so much better. And by reading books and applying these methods, listening to podcasts, and studying yourself on a deeper level, and then drawing that really incredible, amazing, unique, and authentic person to the surface for the service of other people, help other people become successful, the results in your life are that you will be successful as well. So let's get out there, let's share, let's grow, let's think and grow rich. Let's think, act, and grow rich. Understand that there is a science of getting rich. Let's multiply our personal effectiveness through quantum leaps. Let's think so much bigger than we ever thought before. Let's understand that our thoughts do create our reality, and that our goals are just a frequency that we got to connect with. And in 70 days, you could totally rewire your brain for success. So all of these changes that you want to have in your life are totally and absolutely possible. You just have to go out there, make the decision that you're going to do it. Find the desire for what you want and never let it go. You take action on it daily, and it will become a reality. We can change the world with our thoughts, but our action steps shows that we actually believe what we say we're going to do. So let's go out there. Let's change the world. One book, one thought, one action step at a time. Sound good? Let's do it.